before we go down too much of the rabbit hole, the complexities of fitness, jiu-jitsu, all that, I want to hear your story because we met through shooting, right? But I walk in this incredible gym, right? You owner, operator, you've been coaching for a long time. Like, what was your entrance into the fitness world? And when did you even know you were doing fitness before you created this gym that you have here?
Yeah. So, I mean, like a lot of kids, sports was a big deal to me as a kid, and I was always moving around, always athletic. I was a chubby kid, but as I got up until I was like in 7th, 8th grade, and I finally started to kind of fill out and turn into a man, but I was still a late bloomer. And the story is, and I'll just give it to you shortly, the thing that inspired me from really sort of taking personal responsibility for my fitness was they used to do this thing, and I don't think they even do it anymore, called the presidential physical fitness testing, right, in schools.
I've heard of that. Yeah. They didn't do it when I was in school, but I had heard about it previously.
Okay. Well, they took it out for a few reasons that I won't go down. But in one of those things, I mean, you had to run the mile, right? You had to do sit-ups. They even made you do this freaking sit and reach test, that's some stupid stuff. But one of the things was the pull-ups or the bar hang, right? And, I don't know kind of how many times I'd maybe done this and just not paid attention. Maybe I just thought it was like regular class we were doing. I didn't take it seriously. But here's what happened. They brought out the girls class and the boys class, PE class, and he took us out on the field, and there were 2 pull-up bars hanging out there, and they lined up the girls on one side and the boys on the other side.
Some egos are about to get hurt.
Dude, I don't know what I thought was going to happen when I jumped up on the box platform thing to then grab onto the bar and do a pull-up, but I couldn't do a pull-up. And the girl next to me did like 3 or 4 pull-ups or something like that. And the whole class on both boys and girls standing on the other side, staring. And I don't know, I just wasn't paying attention. And then all of a sudden it got really real to me. Holy shit, I can't pull my own body weight up. Whoa. This is what is going on.
Yeah.
And so that triggered something in me. And then that very year, actually, the county park system put in this little pathway near my house where they had all these little exercise kind of outdoor park course things you could do. Well, they put the pull-up bar right across the street from the house. So by next year, I don't think anybody could do more pull-ups than I could do. Cool. It was just, and what I saw from that was every day, if I just went out there and I tried to do a pull-up, ultimately I could do one. I could do like a jumping pull-up, and then I could do like one jumping pull-up with like a slow hang or a slow lowering to the ground. And over time, like I could do 10, I could do 15 pull-ups. And as opposed to the year before where I was completely mortified and embarrassed. Yeah. That kind of inspired me to really kind of look into the weightlifting, and my dad had been around it. My dad actually worked for Jack LaLanne.
Okay.
While he was in grad school, in the Jack LaLanne gyms, and he had been lifting.
I actually don't know what Jack LaLanne is.
I know, man. So Jack LaLanne was like an iconic figure in fitness and health back in the early 60s and through the 60s. If you like YouTube this guy, you'll be like, oh yeah, wow. Like we're talking like jumpsuits and he's a real character. You have to look him up. Okay. Anybody doesn't know Jack LaLanne, have to look him up. But he was also lifting in the Southern California area, Venice area, where Arnold Schwarzenegger was, and the like. And so he was inspired. So I had a weight set in my gym or in my garage at like 13, and he taught me to start lifting weights. So I got, again, I couldn't do a pull up now.
Can I interrupt you real quick? And I think humiliation can be such a great teacher, and you took it properly, but at such a young age, why do you think it was, and maybe if you psychoanalyze it years later, why was it that you took it properly, did something about it versus turned inwardly and ran from it?
Yeah. I think what that comes down to really is how I was raised up into that point. Okay. And how my parents encouraged me to take personal responsibility for all the things that should be my responsibility, and taking care of my health, everything from brushing your teeth, to taking care of that. Might sound silly, but you scraped your knee. Now you should probably clean that out. right? And get a Band-Aid on it, because the last time you didn't listen to me when I told you to do that, that shit got infected, right? I had to take you to the doctor. He stuck a needle in your butt, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like those kind of things kind of built up. So by the time I got to that point, like I had a personal sense of responsibility. I also had some pride, a healthy sense of pride. Like, yes, there was a little bit of embarrassment there. We might call that like gym embarrassment. If you're walking into a gym for the first time and you're not in shape, and you know that person over there has the body that you want and all those kind of things. So for me, it was really the mindset is like, I have to fix this.
Cool.
And so, and again, being responsible for, you need to fix this. Nobody else, mom can't make this happen for you. Dad can't make this happen for you. Yep. And at the same time, my parents lived a healthy lifestyle. Cool. So I was influenced in that sense, in that like exercise was a normal, it was normalized, it was important, but it wasn't anything extreme. My dad actually happens to have a black belt in Shotokan karate. So he had been involved in martial arts. He was a gymnast before that to a certain extent. He lifted weights. He looked the part. My mom was very active outside of work, you know, whether it was walking, running, aerobics, things like that. And we played sports. So like being physically active and having to push yourself was not unnormal to me. I think it's very unnormal now to most kids, but that I think is really where it came from. So, and
there's nothing more saying personal responsibility than you can't pull yourself up on the bar. It's not the bar's fault. It's not gravity's fault. It's you.
Yeah. And so I wasn't pointing, exactly. I wasn't pointing fingers, and I don't think I ever did that. It was like, shit, I got to fix this problem.
Yep.
And so it was about problem solving, not griping, moaning, looking for some easy button somewhere or whatever else. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. So continued through high school.
So fitness was a thing. Sports was a thing. I was the football wrestler guy. You know, I went on. Then I went. You know, I played a little bit in junior college, and then didn't play at a 4-year university. I had a little bit of a chip on my shoulder, and I'm not playing. And then all of a sudden, sports was over. Like organized athletics, right? But that whole time, I was lifting and spending time in the gym, running outside, and now I didn't have purpose. And ultimately I found my purpose in the gym. I got connected with a gym owner who I was actually a coach. She introduced me to the things that could happen in the gym environment. It encouraged me down an institutional educational path, and then a different type of non-traditional path to figure this whole industry out. And so I started coaching. You know, I was a personal trainer for a bit. Then I was running a personal training department. Then I had 5 personal training departments. Then I had 50 clubs. And then I worked my way through the system. I worked for a company called Bally Total Fitness, which is really no longer around, but they're one of the bigger health club organizations. I was a national director for personal training and personal training development for them in my final year. So I was sort of traveling all over the country doing it. And it's my life. It's just what I do.
That's awesome.
So ultimately I just said, well, enough of this. I don't want to be somebody else's
time to do it
whatever.
For yourself.
Time to do it for myself. And hence Red Dot Fitness was born and evolved to what you see it to be now.
So I'm probably going to ask you a question you get from people who are complete outsiders.